Hello my dear students, I hope all of you are fit and fine and are maintaining all the necessary COVID protocols properly. Because you know the situation was already difficult and now it has again become much more difficult than before. And to beat this situation, we all need to be very careful again. Okay, we need to do our own part. We need to maintain all those things properly. Anyway, as I told some of you, you wanted me to discuss the thing rhyme scheme, the topic rhyme scheme again, because it is necessary whenever we are going through a poem. The figure of speech, rhyme scheme, these things become really important. So rhyme scheme, some of you forgot the thing, so I have decided to explain it again. Uh, if you want to check the previous video where I discussed it, I think it was in the How Doth the Little Crocodile part 2. In this video I discussed rhyme scheme. How Doth the Little Crocodile part 2. You can check that also, and now I will try to explain it in details. Okay, as much as I can. Now at first you need to know what the thing rhyme is. I hope you have an idea what the thing rhyme is. When you will find the ending portion of two or more lines have a correspondence between them, like the ending words. Okay, the last words of the lines uh, are having a correspondence between them. They create a kind of rhyme. And when you try to find similarity, correspondence means a kind of similarity in the sound, not in the spelling. Be very careful about that. Okay, not in the spelling, in the sound. Okay, when you utter, it produces a kind of sound. In the sound you need to find the similarity. Okay, so in order to find similarity you need to take minimum 2 words and more than that. So minimum 2 lines, minimum 2 words you need to follow. Okay, it would be better if we learn this thing through examples. I would suggest you to open page number 57. So many poems were there. Okay, the first one, this one, number 1. I hope you can see. Number 1. What is this life so full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. Okay, because rhyme scheme is concerned about concerned with the last words, the sound that produced by the last words of each line, we will take the last words only. Okay, let me write down the words for you. So the first line ends with the word care. The second line ends with the word stare. After that, bows. After that, cows. After that, pass. Again I am repeating that I am taking the last words only because you need to find the correspondence between the last words, among the last words of each line. Okay. So the first word is care. Which word among these is rhyming with the word care? Obviously, stare is rhyming with this particular word care. Now, how to find out the rhyme scheme? In order to mark or find out the rhyme scheme, we denote each line with an alphabet. Now, when you start to find out the rhyme scheme, we will start with the alphabet A. Okay, for the first line we will take the alphabet A. Now because the second line's last word is rhyming with this line's last word, care, stare. See the similarity between the sound, between the utterance of these words, they are similar. That's why again, as they are rhyming, we will again write A for this word also. Now see the next word, is it rhyming with these two words? Bows, stare, care, no similarity. So for this new kind of sound, For this new kind of word, new sounding word, we will take another alphabet. After A, we will take obviously B. And bows, it is rhyming with cows. See, the spellings are different, right? The spellings are different. Here you get R-E-R-E, A-R-E, A-R-E, but here you are getting G-H-S and here W-S, totally different. But as they are rhyming in sound, the sounds are rhyming with each other. So again this B will be repeated here. Now see, stay, care, bows, any of these, they are not rhyming, all these words are not rhyming with the word pass, right? So we will take a new alphabet and after B we will take C obviously. And with pass, grass is rhyming, so we will again take C. So what is the rhyme scheme? A A, B B, C C. Now the second stanza has not been given here. Now if you are reading a poem, a long poem like television, okay, if I ask you to find out the rhyme scheme, if you go on like this, suppose in the second stanza there is no rhyming word with all of these, so you need to take D. But no, when I will mention, obviously I will not ask you to write down the rhyme scheme of this poem. It's not possible. Will you memorize the whole poem and will you memorize the rhyme scheme? Memorizing rhyme scheme is not going to help you in any way. You need to find it out. So, generally what happens, we mention some lines, 4 or 5 lines or a particular stanza, okay, and we ask you that mention the rhyme scheme of the above mentioned line or the above mentioned stanza, whatever it is. So you need to go through those lines particularly, and from the first line will begin with A only. The rhyme scheme will begin with A only. Maybe those lines have been taken from the middle of that poem. It doesn't matter. When you are finding out the rhyme scheme of those lines, you will use A in the beginning. That's it, because that is the first line for you right at that moment. It doesn't matter from which portion of the poem it has been extracted. It doesn't matter. You will begin with A, because in the question paper that is the first line that you are getting. Understood? So in the worksheet today I have mentioned that you need to find out the rhyme scheme of each stanza separately. So separately, take the first stanza, you will start with A. The second stanza again you will start with A. And the figure of speech we had a lot of discussion while we discussed all the poems that we have already discussed with each other. So figure of speech, I am sure that you are having a good idea. You already have developed your idea about figure of speech till now. So I expect you to solve those questions very easily. Then we will discuss those in today's class or in the revision class or on the next day. That has not been decided. Now another thing that if you want more details about this rhyme scheme thing, I again am reminding you that you please go to my YouTube page or what, I don't know, I mean where I upload my videos. You go there and check how draw the little crocodile part 2, that video. You check that. There I think I taught it in much more detailed manner. Okay, I think this is enough, but if you want you can check that. And if you are having any doubt, obviously I don't think I need to repeat, but still you can ask me in the live class. Another thing, there was a confusion. Now come to the poem in the Bazaars of Hyderabad. Not confusion, I somehow overlooked the question mark, page number 30. The stanza, what do you play, O musicians? Sitar, Sharangi and drum. What do you chant, O magicians? Spells for the aeons to come. After this word aeons to come, after this there is a question mark, but I somehow just imagined it to be a full stop. I overlooked the question mark and I explained it as an answer from our narrator, I mean from the poet. But no, actually in the last line of the second last stanza, she is guessing what the magicians are doing. She herself is asking, what are you doing? What are you chanting, magicians? and then she herself is guessing that are you chanting the spells to attain the eternal power. Aeons here stands for eternal power. Okay. The word meaning given in your book is an extremely long period of time, but it has nothing to do with the context. You can search in Google, you can use the internet in a positive way. Okay, I hope you use that. That the philosophical meaning is something like eternal power. So here those magicians are trying to attain that magical, not magical, obviously magical, but that eternal power through their spells, and this is just a guess by our own narrator, and she is trying to ask the magicians what they are doing, and then she is guessing that this is the thing that you are doing or not, or something else. This is the scene here. I really liked it. I really appreciate as some students in group B, they related it to the superhero literature, that is also a part of literature, I hope, the comic book literature, and how Doctor Strange tried to attain that power. That thing, I really appreciate that you can relate these things with the other things of your interest. In this way you can have a really good understanding, and you can you can memorize, or you can understand the things in a better way. Okay, this is really good. I appreciate it. Different kinds of literature, if you can relate it to another kind of literature, I mean to another sectors of literature, another genres of literature, then very good, very good. Okay, now the question answers. Making connections, true, false. The first one, the merchants sell lentil and rice. Obviously false. No, the merchants are selling saffron, no, sorry, lentil, rice and saffron. These things are getting crushed by, I guess, vendors. Yes. Okay, so the first one is false. Merchants are different from vendors. Someone asked me on the last day that, Miss, are these same words? I explained the meaning, that how they are little bit different, but I didn't notice that this question was there in this exercise. When it is a true false question, you obviously need to choose here. What is the question? Merchants are different from vendors, and then it is true, because merchants, it is a bigger idea. They in a wholesale price, they used to bring a kind of product from a different country and used to sell in another country, generally in a bazaar. But vendors, no, they are generally small sellers, I would say. Merchants is a much more big idea. Okay, so when the question maker is being so much accurate, then you have to go for true, because they are really different. By accurate meaning, they are really different. So the second one will be true. Like, I will give you another example. Sometimes we say I'm sad, sometimes we say I'm depressed. We make these words synonymous, but they are actually not synonymous if you want to be very accurate. So such thing is happening here also. First one false, second one true. Third one, the fruit men sell fruits and vegetables, no vegetables, so false. Musicians play the guitar and the drum. Oh, no, false. Magicians wake the dead from sleep. Absolutely false. No one can wake the dead from sleep. Okay, maybe they try to pretend that they are waking the dead from sleep, but no, this particular line, it is entirely false. Okay, now I have provided some answers. Okay, not all, obviously. The first one, wait a second. The question is, what do you say, lo ye merchants? This is the line extracted from the poem. The first question is, the stanza that this line is taken from describes different things being sold. What are the things mentioned? Trust me, the questions are so easy from this particular poem. I was thinking like I should ask you to write down all the questions, but then I thought, okay, let provide some answers. In this stanza, the merchants are selling crimson and silver colored turbans, purple brocade tunics, mirrors with amber frame, and daggers with handles made of jade. Second one, who is selling the wares? The merchants are selling the wares. What are the colors and shades mentioned in this stanza? What do you think the poet has used? Why do you think the poet has used these colors to describe the words? The colors are and shades mentioned in this stanza. This is very simple question. Crimson, silver, purple, amber and jet. No, actually you need to memorize this information. Simple in the sense you don't need to find. You don't need to think. I mean, you don't need to use your brain so much, but you need to use your brain. I mean, it's not productive in the sense that you don't need to think about the answer. It's not yes, the questions are not concept based. Here these are some informative questions, information based questions, so you need to memorize, use your brain in that way. The poet has used these colors to create a vibrant image of the goods sold in that bazaar. These also help to add life to the bazaar. Okay. Now, to B. Bells for the feet of blue pigeons, frail as a dragonfly's wing, dot 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 dot. The first question is, who is the speaker addressing in these lines? In this stanza, the speaker is addressing the goldsmiths. She was talking to the goldsmiths. Apart from a girdle and scabbards, what else is made from gold? Again a direct question. Apart from a girdle and scabbards, the goldsmiths are also making wristlet, anklet, ring and bells to be tied to the feet of blue pigeons. Third one, pick out a simile from the above lines. I had already discussed it on the last day, so I am not repeating it. I have provided, you just go through the answer. C. Crowns for the brow of a bridegroom, dot 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 dot. The stanza has been mentioned. What floral ornaments are woven for the bridegroom? The flower girls are weaving crowns with tassels of azure and red for the bridegroom. Second question is, what is the significance of the white blossoms? The white blossoms are used for their fragrance and purity to spread over the dead in a funeral. We had a long discussion regarding this. The lines talk about two contrasting events in human life. What are these events? I hope you could understand the answer I have provided. See if your thoughts are getting matched with mine or not. The two contrasting events mentioned in this last stanza are wedding and death. While flowers are used to beautify the wedding, which signifies the new journey of two persons, the same flowers are used. Here same flowers, it doesn't mean that there you are using red rose, here also you are using red rose. No, here same doesn't stand for that thing. Okay, same flowers means the thing flower. That flower, the same thing, that is used here also. So the same flowers are used to adorn a person's deathbed, signifying eternal peace. I hope you agree with me. If not, if you are having any other idea, any other answer, any new point, share with me in the live class. Share with me, not me, share with all of us. Now question number 3 and 4, I think easiest questions. I need you to write down the answers, and if you want my opinion, you can discuss with me. Question number 5, mention two things that fascinate the poet about the Bazaar of Hyderabad. What fascinates you when you go to the Bazaar? The second half, I don't know. I get fascinated by so many things. What about you? I would like to know in the live class. But the first half, mention two things that fascinate our poet. The poet is fascinated by the hues and colors of the things sold in that bazaar. For her, the hustle and bustle of the market is interesting to watch. She is enamored by the variety of goods on display. You can use some examples, like you can mention some goods also if you want. But mention about the colors, hues, hustle and bustle, all those things. These are really necessary because those are the main thing that the poet wants to show. Anyway, there is an important thing after that in page number 31. In this poem, Sarojini Naidu depicts a picture of the Bazaars of Hyderabad through vivid imagery. Now, what is imagery? The definition has been given in your book. Let me read it for you. Imagery is the use of language to evoke pictures in the mind of the readers or listeners. So, when you are listening to somebody or you are going through a piece of literature, sometimes it happens the description is so vivid, the language is so beautiful or is used in such a way, such a language is used that it can help you to visualize the thing or to or you can listen to some sounds or mention in that particular piece with obviously not this physical, with not obviously not these physical ears, uh, as we say, eyes of mind, maybe ears of mind. Okay, that is the term I would like to use. You are not watching it really, or you are not listening to it really, you are not testing it really, you are not touching it really, but you feel like you can see, you can hear, you can touch. Okay, you can taste. These are the things, and such the use of such language is called imagery, that can evoke the image in front of the reader, in the, I mean in front of, not in front of, in the minds of reader. This is the perfect phrase that has been used. Now imagery, as I told, that you can see, you can feel like you are watching something, you can feel like you are listening to something, you are tasting something, you just feel these things. These things do not take place really, mind it. Imagery appeals to the senses. Basically, it appeals to our senses. Images need not to be visual only. The most effective imagery uses as many senses as possible. So, how will you understand that this imagery is really effective? When the imagery will appeal to as many senses as you can think about. Okay. Like for taste, we call it gustatory imagery. Touch, tactile, eyes, I mean when you can see, okay, smell, olfactory, sound, auditory, and sight, visual. You need to memorize these things. Okay, visual, auditory, I think these two are really simple. Visualize, visual, okay, auditory, audio we'll listen to. Now smell, olfactory, touch, tactile, taste, gustatory, you just memorize. Try to memorize, you will easily memorize. The poem provides instances of visual, olfactory, gustatory and auditory images. Okay, touch, tactile, TT. This is a hint that I just found. I think I used to memorize it in this way during my graduation days. So touch, tactile, TT. Oh no, taste also has T. Okay, memorize it in your own way. Don't worry. So there is a list, I guess. There is a chart where you need to find out the imageries and write them, place them in the proper box. You solve it. Okay. Then we will discuss it in the live class. Right now I don't want to answer the questions. So that's it. If you are having any kind of query, any doubt, you can ask me in the live class. You know I repeat this I think 1000 times. I don't know why. To make it clear, and submit the worksheet positively. If you can't submit, don't be panicked. You write down the question answers. That's the most important thing. Sometimes it happens that means I submit every day, but today my file is not getting uploaded or something like that. If you are doing this for the first time, I mean, no, if it is not getting uploaded just for 1 day or 2 days, that is okay. But if you are not submitting it regularly, if you are skipping the worksheets regularly, then you know your marks can be decreased anyway. So bye bye, take care. We will be meeting in the live class. I don't know whether I missed to discuss something or not. Just remind me in the live class if anything I have missed.